Welcome to the class on reductions. We are comparing the reactivity of different reducing agents using some substrates. In the list, we will now discuss the final selectivity of reagents. Now we will discuss about the reduction of different functional groups using different reducing agents. Imines can be reduced to amines. Amines can be reduced to amines. Aldehyde can be reduced to alcohol. Ketone, similarly, ketone can be reduced to alcohol. Ester can be reduced to alcohol. Then amides can be reduced to alcohols. And finally, we have carboxylic acids. I think it is not fitting here, so I'll write here. Carboxylic acids can be reduced to alcohols. Okay. So how do we perform reduction of these functional groups using our reducing agents? When we use sodium cyanoborohydrate, sodium cyanoborohydrate is specially used for reductive amination, right? Sodium cyanoborohydrate is used for reductive amination. So amines can be reduced to amines with sodium cyanoborohydrate. But all other reductions, they are not possible. Okay, even aldehyde also, sodium cyanoborohydrate will reduce aldehyde very slowly. Okay, even ketones also is very slow reaction. But other functional groups, yes, it is not possible. Other functional groups, sodium cyanoborohydrate will not reduce. Then when we look at sodium borohydrate, sodium borohydrate will not be used for this purpose, reductive amination. Of course, it will reduce it amine to amine, okay, but we don't use it. Okay, we don't use that for reductive amination. Then carbonyls, yes, carbonyls, aldehydes, ketones, they can be reduced with sodium cyanoborohydrate, whereas esters, of course, it is possible, but it is very, very slow, right? Esters can be reduced with sodium borohydrate to alcohol, but it is very, very slow, right? It is very, very slow. So we don't use sodium borohydrate for ester reduction. Of course, amide is not possible. Carboxylic acid also will not be reduced with sodium borohydrate. When we use lithium borohydrate, of course, as I said earlier, we don't discuss it for reductive amination, okay, because reductive amination can be done using sodium cyanoborohydrate, so other reagents we don't use. So lithium borohydrate, because of its increased reactivity, it will reduce aldehyde to alcohol, ketone to alcohol, even ester to alcohol. Okay, but it don't reduce amides to amines or carboxylic acids to alcohols. Amides cannot be reduced, carboxylic acids cannot be reduced with lithium borohydrate. Whereas when we discuss about LAH, of course, for reductive amination, we don't use this reagent, okay? Of course, LAH being strong reducing agent, it will reduce aldehydes, ketones, esters to corresponding alcohols, then amides to corresponding amine, but it don't reduce carboxylic acid to alcohol. It cannot reduce carboxylic acid to alcohol. Okay, so this is for this. It won't reduce carboxylic acid to alcohol. Now we will see diborane reduction. Similarly, diborane can be used for aldehyde to alcohol reduction, but sometimes it is slow. Of course, it will reduce aldehyde to alcohol, even ketone to alcohol also it is possible, but it is slow, so we don't use this reagent. Generally, we use these reagents for the reduction of carbonyl. We don't use borohydrate. Okay, sorry, we don't use borane. So here ketone reduction is slow. Even ester also undergoes reduction, but it is also very, very slow. Then amides can be reduced to amine using diborane, and carboxylic acids can be reduced to alcohols. Okay, so carboxylic acids can be reduced with borane. Carboxylic acids can be reduced with borane, whereas LAH cannot reduce carboxylic acids. Yeah, take this table. So in the electrophilic reducing agents, next we will see diborane, organoboranes. Organoboranes are also electrophilic reducing agents. What we generally use is diborane gas, B2H6. A diborane is highly poisonous. Diborane is highly poisonous. and it is a gas, so it is difficult for us to handle this gas. So it is very difficult to handle diborane. So instead of a gas, if it is a solid or liquid, it would be better for easy handling, right? So for that, there are some commercially available borane reagents. They are complexes of some oxygen groups like BHE3 THF, borane THF, or BHE3 SME2 is a complex of dimethyl sulfide and borane, or a complex between borane and ether, diethyl ether. These are all commercially available reagents. These are all commercially available reagents, and these are all liquids. These are all liquids, so we can easily handle them. And not only that, they are also soluble in oxygen solvents, even in DCM also. Okay. So because these are all liquids and these are all soluble in organic solvents, general organic solvents, then it is easy for us to handle these liquid compounds instead of diborane itself. Okay. Yeah, first we will discuss the reduction of carboxylic acid, because diborane can reduce carboxylic acids to alcohols, whereas the previous reducing agents cannot do this reaction. So first we will discuss this, then we will discuss the reactivity of borane complexes. Okay. Carboxylic acids can be reduced with borane reagents to corresponding alcohol. When we add borane, uh, what happens? Borane, it is again a hydride source. Okay, borane is a hydride source. So H minus, carboxylic acid is having H plus. So we will be losing 3 molecules of hydrogen gas, and we are generating a borate ester. We are generating a borate ester. This is the borate ester. B, Bo, then some R group, then it is called borate ester. This borate ester will further undergo reduction with excess of diborane to corresponding alcohol. So H minus from borane will add to carbonyl group until it becomes H2. So the two oxygen groups will be leaving. So it becomes H2. Of course, this oxygen will be there 3 times borane. Now when we add dilute acid here, or what we say hydrolysis, so this borate ester will undergo hydrolysis. So H will add to oxygen, OH will add to boron. So that is why it forms BOH3, boric acid. H3BO3 is called boric acid. So when we do hydrolysis of borate esters, because it is a boric acid, so this is called ester. It looks like an ether, but because the compound itself, it is called boric acid, so we call it as ester. So this borate esters, when we do hydrolysis, H will add to oxygen, OH will add to boron. So the alcohol will be released and borane will become boric acid. I'll give you 2 or 3 examples on this for better understanding of selectivity also. So when we have an ester and a carboxylic acid in the same molecule, and when we use borane for the reduction of this molecule, and remember we must use only one equivalent for the reduction of carboxylic acid. Of course, borane will also reduce esters, but the reaction is very slow. So when we use only one equivalent of borane carboxylic acid reduction is very, very fast. So borane will reduce carboxylic acid to corresponding alcohol, whereas this ester group will not be reduced. Ester also undergoes reduction with borane, but the reaction is very slow. So when we use only one equivalent of borane, borane will selectively reduces carboxylic acid to corresponding alcohol, whereas the ester group will not be reduced. Yeah, please take a snapshot. I'm changing this page. Now we will see the reactivity of boron reagents. So the nomenclature of different boron reagents I will give next to this. So first take this boron reagent. This is again a boron reagent. So when we use this reagent for reduction of this compound, of course, the selectivity here is it will only reduce carboxylic acid to alcohol, whereas this halogen, alkyl halogen, haloalkanes, they will not, they cannot be reduced with boron. So when we look at the reactivity of boron reagents, boron reagents will reduce carboxylic acid to corresponding alcohol very fastly. Similarly, they will reduce alkenes or alkynes to corresponding organoboranes very fastly. Organoboranes can be explored in different ways, so that we will discuss. Then boron can also reduce aldehyde to corresponding alcohol, but sometimes it is fast, sometimes it is slow. Okay, and it can also, we can also use boron to reduce ketone to corresponding alcohol, but the reaction is slow or moderate. So we don't use boron to reduce ketone. Okay, but it will happen. Uh, Boron can reduce carbonyl, but it is slow. Similarly, boron can also reduce nitrile group, but here the nitrile will be reduced to amine, but again the reaction is very moderate. So that means it's a slow reaction. Then any other groups, epoxides, esters, the reaction is very slow. Okay. Then it cannot reduce acid chlorides or nitro groups or carboxylate ions, COO minus Na plus. So these will not undergo reduction with borate. Okay. So majorly boron is used for the reduction of carboxylic acid or an alkene or alkyne. Okay. The preparation of these boron reagents is also easy. Of course, we don't prepare them in a lab. Normally, we buy them in a lab. Okay, but the preparation is also easy. What we will do is we will use sodium borohydrate to reduce boron trifluoride gas. Boron trifluoride is again a dangerous reagent. Okay, it is a low boiling liquid. Then it will form boron Okay, of course, the reaction is not balanced by me. You can try this, okay? Right. Now we will see the reduction of carbonyls using boron, because I told carbonyls can be reduced with boron. So first I'll give that mechanism, then I will discuss the reduction of double bonds and triple bonds with the boron. Right. So how boron will reduce carbonyl? It is a similar fashion to any hydride reducing reagent. So boron being electropositive, it will bind to more electron rich oxygen. So the hydride transfer takes place hydride transfer takes place to the carbonyl carbon, then this carbon oxygen double bond will break and it forms O minus. This O minus will form a bond with boron. Okay, so it generates a borate ester here. This is the hydrogen and BH2. This is called borate ester. Borate ester. Similarly, two more carbonyls can be reduced using a single molecule of boron. Okay, so here we will generate a borate ester, a complete borate ester 3 times. Then when we do hydrolysis of borate ester, what happens? Hydrogen adds to oxygen, OH adds to boron. So we will get He3BO3 boric acid plus 3 molecules of alcohol. So this is how we reduce carbonyls with boron. So borons can reduce carbonyls. but the thing is that they are slow. They are fast reactions. Sometimes they are fast reactions. Sometimes they are slow reactions. Now we will see how boranes will reduce alkenes. It is a similar fashion like how they reduce carbonyl group. So boranes will approach the double bond from less substituted or less sterically crowded side. Okay, so the borane will add to the terminal carbon of double bond or less sterically crowded carbon of the double bond. So it is anti-Markovnikov rule. So boranes follow anti-Markovnikov rule. So hydride transfer takes place here. Also, even in borane reduction, also hydride transfer H minus will be transferred to this double bond. Then this double bond will break down and will form a bond between carbon and the boron. So if you have three such, okay, I'll give one by one. So what we generate here is an alkyl borane. Right? So this is called alkyl borane. Okay. Of course, when we add two more alkene groups, this is R2, right? One, two, three, four, right? Okay. So two more of these, we are generating a trialkyl borane. We are generating a trialkyl borane. Trialkyl borane. First, we will see how the double bond at triple bond will be reduced with the borane. Okay. So when we add boranes to alkenes, they will generate alkyl boranes. If one alkyl is there, it is alkyl borane. If two alkyl groups are there, it is dialkyl borane. If three alkyl groups are there, it is trialkyl borane. So when we reduce this 2-methyl-2-butene, 2-methyl-2-butene with the borane, or we can say isopentene with the borane, what we can say here, this is a terminal double bond. So a borane can reduce three of such terminal boranes. So it can generate trialkyl borane. But here it is an internal borane, internal double bond, and so it is a sterically crowded double bond. So in this case, it is not possible to have a trialkyl borane. In this case, it is only possible to have a dialkyl borane. Okay. As I said earlier, borane adds to less substituted carbon. Borane adds to less substituted carbon. So in this double bond, this side borane will be adding, here hydrogen will be adding. Similarly, here Boron adds to less substituted carbon of alkene. Hydride will add to more substituted carbon of hydride, alkene. So this is called diisoamyl borane. Diisoamyl borane, or in short, we call it as thiamyl borohydride. We call it as thiamyl borohydride. This is again a boron reagent used for selective reduction of double bonds, because we have more spherical crowding around this boron, so it is used for the selective reductions. So remember, how many alkyl groups can be added to boron? It depends on the spherical crowding of the alkyl group. If it is a terminal double bond, that means if it doesn't have any spherical crowding, we can add 3 alkyl groups. If it is an internal double bond, then the spherical crowding of the double bond depends, will decide how many alkyl groups can be added to boron. I'll just give you one more example for today. If we have a tetra substituted alkene, it means it is more sterically crowded than this double bond. So this alkene, when we use boron to reduce this, it is only possible to have monoalkylation. So that means only one double bond will be reduced. Because of the spherical crowding, the boron cannot reduce one more of such double bond. Okay, so here we will get mono alkyl boron. This is called thexyl boron. This is called thexyl boron, or in short, it is called THX BH2. Please take a snapshot. I think we are running out of time. It is less than 1 minute. So tomorrow we will see how these alkyl borons can be explored further. Please take a snapshot.